Hello everyone, Jawnes here, and in today's video I'm bringing to you part 2 of the Call of Duty Warzone settings that you should use on console. Since my last video, I actually changed the settings that I use on Warzone and that I play on now, and I wanted to share them with you regarding the display on your monitor or screen and solve other problems concerning performance on your system and usual and the average gameplay. Now what we're gonna do is go to the settings section. For the settings right here on the controller settings, I didn't change anything since last time. I just bumped up my sensitivity since I got more used to it, and then the rest of the settings are pretty much still the same. On the general settings, I toned the brightness down to 47, and I'm going to explain to you why I did that just in a bit. So usually what I would do is put the settings and the brightness settings as high as possible, not like the game recommends. But what turned out to be a problem is when you are facing someone on a mountain and you have the sun coming directly in your face, you cannot see anything. The screen is white, you cannot see someone shooting at you. So I would recommend you to put it somewhere around 47, 46 maybe, because as you can see 47 is when you start seeing the barely visible icon. On the previous video I said that you should put film grain, and I completely changed my mind and realized that you should actually have film grain put to 0. Now keep in mind, for the brightness settings, it really depends also on your monitor. Like for example, right now on my monitor I have it on power saving settings. If I go ahead and change the contrast and color settings or monitor related display, it will change what you can see in the game. And there's pretty much a mode, for example in the monitor, called game mode, and you can see the difference like between game mode on and off, how much everything is have a higher brightness and a higher contrast. Like right here, this is on, this is off. So it really depends on, well, usually when I play on because I feel the colors are stronger and it helps me to see better. But if you do not have this setting, don't worry, just adjust the settings on Warzone and try to do as best as you can on the TV settings that you have. When you continue right here, colorblind type. You have to set, or I highly recommend you to set colorblind type to Tritanopia. And it's the third one. And colorblind target, set them to both, so that it applies for the world and for the interface, so that you get used to the colors. But what this does basically is change the color tone of the game, as I'm showing you in this preview right here, and help you see better darker areas. Because on console you do not have the settings, the Nvidia settings or other display settings that you can adjust on PC to see darker areas, and most definitely the roast skin, which is the biggest problem in this game. When you use those settings right here, it will give you an advantage so that you'll be able to see the dark corners with a better color palette and with a bit more of brightness that should allow you to see the roast skin camping or to brighten up this area in general. Next up, the world motion blur. This one was disabled, and I still recommend you to keep it disabled because you don't want any motion blur that will drop the frames and make everything blurry. And weapon motion blur should be disabled as well. You do not really care about the effects. It's really not about having pleasure with the graphics, but more having a better performance overall in the game. The minimap HUD is still square because you can see more with the rotation enabled. Now there's one last thing. Dismemberment and gore effects, it's enabled if you use tracer packs. If you don't use tracer packs, disable it. You don't really need it. And then you have, I forgot to mention, I think that you have the tooltips or the subtitles, you have to put them enabled if you want, because sometimes if you don't hear an airstrike or someone dropping or anything, it will write it down for you, so make sure you have subtitles on. Then on the audio settings, I tried using a mix of boost high, boost low, just to see which one suits better and allows me to hear better, but I then realized it all depends on your headset and what type of headset you are using. So really boost high is my go-to with the headset that I'm using, because I tried to boost low in general and the airstrike is just way too loud, or when a plane is passing on the map you don't hear anything else. So I don't recommend you to use boost low with a low quality headset. Boost just boosts everything and then you can't really hear a lot. So boost high is kind of a alternative that works well. Music volume, I removed it at the end because it's just annoying. You don't really care about the music volume. And then effect volume is maximum. Then the dialogue volume is the person that is talking to you, like when he says enemy airstrike, hostile dropping, so that you can hear them. So I usually keep that around 60. Another thing in voice chat is voice chat volume. Now I have voice chat volume on 93. It could be on 120 or 100, or you can put it lower, but it really depends on the people you play with. If you play with the same squad, you kind of know which one has a headset with a better microphone volume or anything, so really adjust that in a way where you can still hear your teammates, but when they rage, they will not cover the sound of the game so that you can still focus, because a lot of times you die because someone is angry and shouting because he died, and then you can't hear the footsteps or someone else shooting at you. So this one, adjust it according to your squad, and I put my microphone volume a bit higher than it should be because my headset doesn't give a very good sound, so that people can hear me better. Really adjust these settings with your squads. And the final thing I want to talk about is in general, is game installs. There is some game installs that you do not need. Like for example, I only play Warzone for Warzone, Modern Warfare. Special Ops packs, you don't need it. And you can go ahead and delete it if you have it installed in the game. So usually this is what I would recommend you to do if you have the game and you don't want it to take additional storage. There's a small thread that goes on that says the more storage you have, the better your hard disk can perform, and it's actually a bit true. So the more storage you have, the better it will be for your PlayStation 4 because it's an old system. But then there's another thing that I would recommend you to do is, if you can afford to change the hard disk and put a faster hard disk on your system. For example, my hard disk is on my PlayStation 4 since 2013 and it's pretty old. The technology evolved a lot, so there's a lot of hard disks that are faster. You can go ahead and install a faster hard disk to get better performance overall and reduce lag stutters. As for ping, if you experience problem from ping, I have many videos on my channel concerning how you can fix your ping, reduce it, speed up boost the speed, internet speed on your PlayStation 4 or Xbox even, or even on the PC, and you can check those out to improve your ping in game. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Peace.